Welcome guys to another video. Today we're going to be reacting to 6 most disturbing, mysterious locations. And if you guys enjoy these type of videos, scary videos, and the type of videos that I do with my friend, dual reaction videos, just leave a comment down below and we will keep doing these. These are fun to do as well. So yeah, let's get straight into it. And this video is by Chilling Scares. I've reacted to this guy's videos a couple times and he's good at these videos. So just leave a like on the video. It's going to be a good video. And yeah, let's get straight into it.
Bermeja. If you were to look at pretty much any map of the Gulf of Mexico drawn by Spanish explorers in the 16th and 17th centuries, you would find a small island lying off the north coast of the Yucatan Peninsula called Bermeja.
Never heard of this.
Although the exact location of the island varied slightly depending on the map, it was a well-known fact that the island at least existed. Bermeja was first mentioned by Spanish cartographer Alonso de Santa Cruz in an official list of islands in the Gulf of Mexico, published in Madrid in 1539. Alonso de Chaves, another Spanish cartographer, once wrote that from a distance, Bermeja looked blondish or reddish, which is where the island's name came from. A couple of hundred years later, in the mid-1800s, French-Mexican cartographers published reports stating that the island of Bermeja had started to sink. By the late 18th century, Bermeja was no longer featured in many maps of the area, and the last time it showed up on an official map was in the 1921 edition of the Geographic Atlas of the Mexican Republic.
So it fully sunk.
In the late 90s, the American and Mexican governments started negotiations to determine the boundaries for the exploitation rights of oil in the Gulf of Mexico. If the Mexican government could find the island of Bermeja, that would expand Mexico's oil drilling rights way further into the Gulf. Around that time, the Mexican government conducted 3 official investigations to find the island, armed with state-of-the-art ultrasound technology and all kinds of modern tools to locate.
I'm just gonna say what I think is gonna happen. It's gonna be gone. Like, they're not gonna find it anywhere at all. Like, not even at the bottom of the ocean. That's what I think is gonna happen after they, look for it and search for it. And once again, it's this disturbing, mysterious location, so it probably just vanished. I don't know.
Mysteriously, they couldn't find any trace of the island,
Yeah.
and according to spokespeople from the Mexican Navy, it was as if the island had never even existed.
Yeah, that's
A year
weird,
after
man.
the Mexican Navy failed to find Bermeja, a Mexican senator named Jose Angel Cioncielo, who was one of the most fierce advocates for the expansion of Mexico's oil drilling territory and the island's existence, was killed in a car accident on a Mexican highway when a semi-truck slammed into the right side of the car. His death quickly became the fuel for a conspiracy theory, according to which the CIA had blown up the island to further an oil-fueled American agenda.
Yeah, that's
Of
kind of
course,
weird.
this theory
It's like
is
a
a bit of
planned
a
death. I don't know.
stretch, and some of the other more logical theories that surfaced regarding the disappearance of the island are much more likely to be true. One possibility that researchers seem to favor is that the island sunk after an earthquake or underwater landslide, which led to a further series of explorations in 2009 to see if the remains could be found at the bottom of the ocean. However, despite the even more advanced technologies that were used during that year's official investigations, the ultrasound exploration of the ocean floor revealed absolutely nothing but a sandy ocean bottom.
Yeah, that's weird, bro.
Speculation that the island had never existed once again started circulating online and in the news, leading many people to adopt it as the truth. After the failed explorations in 2009, Julio Zamora, president of the Mexican Society of Geography, claimed that the existence of the island of Bermeja had probably been faked by early Spanish explorers to throw off other explorers and military rivals
I
from
doubt
other
it, bro.
countries. This would make sense, as it was common practice to make slightly inaccurate maps back then for the sake of strategy. Another possible theory is that the island could have been drawn by one cartographer in the wrong location by mistake and replicated dozens of times over the centuries by other unaware cartographers.
Could be true as
Still,
well, yeah.
some researchers think that due to the very precise descriptions of the island's physical appearance, Bermeja probably did exist, but in another location. Despite the abundance of theories regarding the mysterious island's location and existence, 15 years after the last exploration of
Nothing
the
has
last
been
known
found.
location of Bermeja, the truth is still a mystery and will probably remain that way forever.
I mean, what? We know, like, what? Less than 5% of the ocean, so we don't know
Overton
what
Bridge.
happens.
Built in 1895 in Dumbarton, Scotland, the Overton Bridge is a Gothic-style bridge overlooking a 50-foot ravine that leads up to Overton House,
Oh,
a
we got the
19th
Mr.
century
Nightmare.
manor in the Scottish lowlands.
With the Mr. Nightmare music.
At first glance, Overton Bridge looks pretty much like any other bridge from the time.
It looks
But
normal,
there's one
yeah.
pretty dark detail that makes it different from any other structure in the area. For the past 80 years, hundreds of dogs have been jumping off the bridge
Oh,
and down to the
no,
ravine
no,
to their
no.
deaths for seemingly no apparent reason.
There's no way.
Sometimes the dogs survive the fall
I just got
and are left
goosebumps.
with debilitating injuries. And according to some reports, there have even been instances where dogs allegedly jumped off the bridge, survived, ran up the slope, and then
And
jumped
jumped
off
again?
once again to their deaths.
Nah.
Depending on the source, you'll
Oh,
find
hell
reports
no.
stating that the amount of dogs that have jumped off the bridge is either lower than 100 or in the high 100s. But
Hell no,
regardless
bro,
of
what the
exact number,
fuck?
it's a fact that a lot of dogs have died at this bridge for some mysterious reason. As you can imagine, these incidents at Overton Bridge have fueled all kinds of outlandish theories, including suggestions that
Yeah.
the bridge is haunted.
I don't doubt it.
According to Celtic pagan beliefs, the bridge is located at a thin place, which is a place that lies at the supposed union between heaven and earth. Some locals have also favored more supernatural theories, with many people blaming the dog's death on the White Lady of Overton, the alleged ghost of the widow from Overton House. Another popular
I don't know
theory
what that
among
is.
the locals is that the dogs are being affected by negative residual energy from a tragic event that took place in 1994, in which a 32-year-old father threw his baby off the bridge, claiming that his child was the Antichrist. Following the tragic murder, the father was declared insane and locked up in a psych ward.
Yeah, who the fuck
But
does
even
that,
with
bro?
all the more outlandish theories that have gained traction in recent years, some researchers have come up with more plausible explanations for the mysterious incidents at Overton Bridge. In 2006, animal behaviorist David Sands investigated the bridge and suggested that the dogs are probably detecting the presence of wild animals below the bridge with their keen sense of smell, which makes them chase after the smell and inadvertently jumping to their deaths. This would make sense, as according to official statistics in the area, minks began breeding in large numbers in the 50s in Scotland, and most long-nosed dogs seem to favor the smell of mink over any other small animal, including squirrels.
Mink.
From my research, most of the dogs that have died at the bridge are long-nosed breeds. Also, because the bridge has tapered edges, from the dog's point of view, the edge looks more like a flat plane, safe for running and chasing after small animals. So, while there will probably continue to be speculation about paranormal activity at Overton Bridge for many years to come, it's much more likely that the dogs aren't intentionally taking
it's like
their lives
50-50
and are
to be
simply
honest.
falling to their deaths on accident while chasing the odors from other animals.
Nah, something strange definitely is going on.
Abandoned Viaduct Petrobras.
I don't know what the fuck
In the
that means.
1950s, the Brazilian government began a project to build BR-101, Brazil's longest highway spanning almost 3,000 miles. In the 1960s, construction began on a segment of highway called the Viaduct Petrobras.
Okay,
that was
they're
meant to
building a
bridge the
highway.
Brazilian jungle to connect Rio de Janeiro and Santos, São Paulo.
What's the worst that can happen,
16
right?
years after construction started, the segment of highway that crossed the jungle was due to be connected to an already existing part of the highway to finish the project. However, due to
Okay.
Brazil's economic crisis, plans changed at the very last minute, and instead of connecting the viaduct to the existing road, the highway was linked to a different coastal route. As a result, the Viaduct Petrobras was left abandoned in the middle of the jungle, and to this day, the Brazilian government has
Oh,
done
what the
nothing to
hell?
remove it or reuse its parts.
Well,
Standing
that's-
over 130 feet tall and almost 1,000 feet long, the structure features fully built tunnels, retaining walls, and a gigantic concrete foundation, which has slowly been swallowed by the jungle as the
Oh,
years have gone
this
by.
literally looks like a jungle temple from Minecraft. Like this is like some shit you would see. Imagine, let's say you're like in the Amazon forest, and you see like some random building. Like, I will like shit myself. I'm gonna be like, I'm out in this remote forest, and I see a massive building where there's absolutely no human life around. Well, that I know of. That would just be creepy, bro. Like, what the fuck? Just a bridge in the middle of nowhere? At night, I would try to sleep at the top if I could get to the top because, you know, it'll be safer from each animals. I don't know. Well, every other animal. Each different type of animal, but I don't know. That's creepy, bro. Just a bridge in the middle of nowhere. I don't know.
To an outsider, the Viaduct Petrobras looks like it was taken out of the city and dropped in the middle of nowhere in the South American jungle for no reason.
It's weird that the government hasn't done anything about it. He's like, I'm not gonna do anything about this. And yeah, I don't know why he wouldn't do anything about this. Maybe he can't be fucked. Number one, maybe he can't be fucked. Or number two, he's like, it takes, I don't know, bro.
Off an admittedly eerie atmosphere. Even though the Viaduct Petrobras seems pretty wasteful, the out-of-place structure is now a pretty popular tourist destination for curious travelers and locals wanting
doubt
to
it
catch a
is.
glimpse of the abandoned concrete giant.
Would be pretty sick to walk on it, to be
Kola
honest.
Super Deep Borehole. In the 1960s, the Soviet Union and the US were locked in a battle to develop superior space exploration technologies, often referred to as the space race.
Okay, some
But
space
what many
stuff. I
people
like
don't
this.
know is that the two countries were also competing to drill as close as possible to the center of the Earth. As is often
What?
the case, the motivation behind the drilling was mostly to find oil and valuable minerals. But from what I found, developing machines that can get close to the center of the Earth would also help understand the causes of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions at a much deeper level. In 1958, the US government launched Project Mohall to collect a sample from Earth's mantle by drilling to the bottom of the ocean off Guadalupe Island in Mexico.
Wow.
Over the next 8 years, they drilled over 600 feet into the seabed, but in 1966, the House of Representatives had to discontinue the project because it was getting too expensive. 4 years later, in 1970, it was the Soviet Union's turn, and they drilled
Too
the
expensive. They just print money. Like, money means nothing to them. I don't know, bro. Maybe it's just some excuse. I don't know.
hole close to the Barents Sea just outside the Norwegian border in a city known as Murmansk, Russia. At the time, the Soviets' goal was to drill as far down as possible, which researchers hoped would be a little over 9 miles. Unlike the US, the Soviets were a little more successful with their attempt and managed to drill way deeper into the Earth's crust, which resulted in the creation of the Kola Super Deep Borehole, also known as the world's deepest man-made hole. With a total depth of over 40,000 feet, or around 7.5 miles, the Kola Super Deep Borehole is deeper than the Mariana Trench, and its depth
Holy
surpasses the
fuck.
height of Mount Everest. As
Bro,
the
that is
project
deep.
progressed, the scientists realized the temperature was much higher than expected at every point below 10,000 feet, and at around 7.5 miles below the surface, the drill reported a temperature of almost 360 Fahrenheit.
Holy
This
shit.
was way higher than the 212 degrees Fahrenheit the scientists had predicted at that depth. So even though the Soviets had broken a record with the Kola borehole, they too had to discontinue the project in 1992 due to increasing rock densities and crazy high temperatures. And in 2005, the drill was shut down and the hole was sealed for good. However, that wasn't the end of the story, and there's a slightly more disturbing reason why people remember the Kola Super Deep Borehole.
They sealed it
In
off
the
for
late
good.
80s, a strange story started circulating in several Christian Finnish newspapers, which reported that a group of Soviet scientists had drilled a hole to the center of the Earth and had allegedly lowered an extremely heat-tolerant microphone into the hole. Through this, they
Oh, I think I know what this is. I think this went viral like a couple years ago. It was like apparently they put like a microphone and you could hear apparently I'm saying apparently they filmed the noises or the sounds of hell. Like you can hear like people screaming and shit. It's probably gonna be ear rape. I'm just gonna put this down a little bit.
supposedly heard a series of extremely disturbing, tormented screams coming from the bottom of the well.
Yeah, yeah.
Throughout the 90s, the story spread to other countries until even American newspapers were running it. As the story gained popularity, sound files with the supposed audio of the tormented screams from the center of the earth started appearing everywhere online, with allegations that the screams came from tormented souls stuck in hell. As it was later revealed, the original recording of tormented screams was made from a loop of various sound effects and the soundtrack from the 1972 movie Barren Blood.
Oh,
From this point forward, it was pretty much common knowledge that the screams were fake. However, it is a fact that some pretty disturbing sounds have been heard coming from the Kola Super Deep Borehole, along with other super deep boreholes.
I
In
don't doubt it.
2013, Dutch artist Lute Given traveled to the 30,000-foot deep
A cigar?
KTB Super Deep Borehole in Germany, where she lowered a microphone protected by a thermal shield to see if she could pick up any sounds at the bottom of the well. Interestingly, a mysterious deep rumbling sound that scientists couldn't explain could be heard through the microphone, which in the artist's own words, some people thought sounded like hell, while others thought they could hear the planet breathe. Even though the sound is pretty cool to hear, even if a little haunting, the consensus among scientists is that the sound comes from layers and layers of rocks rearranging themselves after being moved around by the drill that made the hole. Potomsky
I
Crater.
mean, to be honest, like we haven't explored everything on Earth. Like there's still shit at the very center that we don't know what's there. Even the ocean as well. So like we don't even know our own planet 100%.
In 1949, a Russian geologist named Vadim Kolpakov stumbled upon a mysterious crater with a diameter of over 500 feet and a height of almost
Yeah, aliens. This is 100% aliens, bro. What else could it be?
140 feet in Irkutsk, Siberia. At the center of the crater, he found a little hill around 40 feet tall, which kind of looked like an eagle's nest with an egg inside it.
It's definitely a saucer, bro,
Curious to
right?
find out what was inside the crater, Kolpakov made plans to climb the mound and take a look inside to confirm his hypothesis that the crater had been caused by a meteorite.
Oh, a meteor. Okay, yeah, either that or an alien is my guess. But that's like a suicide wish, bro. Like you're exploring some like fucking weird looking shit in the open. I mean, yeah, in the open jungle by yourself and one friend, bro. Like I need at least like 1,000 people to come with me, bro. Like if I'm going out, I'm not going out alone.
But the locals warned him that Fire Eagle Nest, as it's become known all over the world, allegedly possessed evil powers, and whoever stepped inside it
Yeah.
would be dead soon after.
Obviously, some weird
Dismissing
shit.
the insistent
It's gonna have
warnings
some
as
weird shit.
superstition, he climbed the mound, but failed to find any rock samples that supported his meteorite hypothesis. Over time, more and more expeditions were carried out to the crater, including one in 2005, in which the leader of the
2005.
investigation died of a heart attack shortly after visiting the crater.
Oh hell no, bro.
Based on the findings of recent explorations,
Year after I
scientists
was
have
born,
ruled out volcanic
2005.
eruptions, nuclear explosions, and impact from a meteorite as possible causes for the crater. In the
Wait,
absence
what? So the
of
crater
recent
is caused that?
explorations, scientists have ruled out volcanic eruptions, nuclear explosions, and impact from a meteorite as possible causes for the
Oh,
crater.
causes. I don't know.
In the
Sorry.
absence of a solid answer, some have started coming up with all kinds of theories to explain its origin, including the possibility that a UFO landing made
Yeah,
the
that's what I
crater.
was thinking.
Others have linked the crater to the Tunguska
Or it's like at the very bottom of the crater. It's like hiding. I don't know.
meteorite, the remains of which have never been discovered. One of the things that makes it so difficult to determine the origin of Fire Eagle Nest, or Kolpakov Cone as it's now popularly known, is that the crater frequently changes shape, which suggests that whatever caused it is still affecting it to this day.
It's
The
definitely.
only thing scientists know for sure is that the crater is
fuck?
around 250 years old, which they gathered from the rings on the trees growing on the mound.
That's fucking crazy, bro.
Strangely, it's been scientifically proven that the trees closer to the crater grow much faster than normal, which
Bro, that's definitely some UFO shit. It has to be. Like, what else could it be? Like, the ship is like giving off some weird energy around the like plants and everything, the flowers and shit. Yeah.
is similar to what happened in the
Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you guys agree with me that it's UFOs, just leave a comment down below agreeing with me, and I will know that I have some common knowledge or common sense.
forests
Common
around
sense.
Chernobyl after the nuclear disaster.
Or radiation, who knows?
The lack of solid explanations, coupled with the weird tree phenomenon, has been fuel to the fire of outlandish conspiracy theories about underground nuclear plants and nuclear-powered UFOs buried beneath the crater.
So basically, the trees grow faster. The trees around it grow faster. So if a human's there, what the fuck is it gonna do to the human? I would not be around this shit, bro.
To this day, scientists still haven't determined what caused Kolpakov Cone to appear, and no asteroid fragments or metal parts have been found in the crater to support
Yeah,
some of the
it's-
theories people have come up with.
It's because it's
over
at the
the
very
years.
bottom. That's why it's hiding.
As of today, the most logical explanation is that the mound could have been caused by the underground release of hydrogen fluids and heat from a nearby gas volcano. This could have caused changes in the size of tree rings, which would explain why scientists thought they were growing at an abnormal rate. Still, despite the more convincing explanations that have surfaced over the years, the origin of Kolpakov Cone will probably remain a mystery for many years to come.
Yeah. At the end of the day, no one
Villa
knows.
Epicune. In the 1920s, a small tourist village about 400 miles from Buenos Aires, Argentina, called Villa Epicune, was built along the shore of Lago Epicune, a salt lake touted for the health benefits and therapeutic effects of its mineral waters, which were said to be beneficial for rheumatic conditions. Quickly turning into a weekend getaway for Argentina's upper class, the town soon had a functional railroad station and a population of about 1,500 with a capacity to accommodate around 5,000 additional visitors at its peak in
Damn.
the 70s. Due to its popularity as a weekend getaway for Argentine city dwellers, a lot of money was poured into Villa Epicune to expand its accommodations and make it as comfortable as possible for visitors. However, it seemed not a lot of resources or attention was dedicated to the containment dam that separated the lake from the town.
Lago
Unfortunately,
Epicune.
on November 10, 1985, the containment dam broke during a storm and a series of unusual strong winds. For 2 weeks, the water rose at a rate of half an inch per hour, until eventually the containment dam was completely destroyed by the water, after which all the locals had to abandon their homes and businesses and leave behind
Holy.
Villa Epicune. Over the following days, the flood drowned the town over 30 feet underwater.
Oh my
and
God.
it wasn't until 25 years later in 2009
This
that
is
the waters
basically-
began to recede and now show the eerie remains of the town, which now looks like something out of a dystopian movie.
But this is what's gonna happen to that place, Sicily. Is it Sicily, Italy? The place that has that is the little island on Italy. I don't know what it is. I forgot the name of it. But you guys watching this, you're gonna know the name of it. The place in Italy that has like the boats, that you can ride on the boats in the middle of the little island. Yeah, that place. I forgot the name, bro. But yeah.
From above, you can see the
That's what's
original
gonna
layout
happen
of
to
the
it.
streets of Villa Epicune, along with its many businesses and the houses 1,500 people called home. With its overgrown trees, rusty
sucks, bro.
post-apocalyptic appearance, and ghost town vibes, Villa Epicune now draws in tourists and photographers from all over the world who want to get a glimpse of the ruins of the once bustling getaway town. Due to the high levels of salt in the water that once flooded the town, most of the buildings in Villa Epicune are covered with a thin white residue, giving the town an even more creepy appearance. One of the
Yeah,
more
it's
interesting
creepy,
facts
bro.
about Villa Epicune is that even after it was completely destroyed by the water and flooded for more than 25 years, as soon as the water receded in 2009, one of the locals, then 81-year-old Pablo Novak, decided to come back home and live out the rest of his days in Villa Epicune.
What?
Out of the original
Oh my
1,500
God.
residents of the town, Pablo was the only one who came back. As the lone inhabitant of Villa Epicune,
Damn.
Novak was officially named a cultural ambassador of the town in 2020.
Wow. That must bring back so much nostalgia to him. Imagine he's like, damn, my whole house is gone. He waits the years that he needs to wait. The water the water runs back. Well, it doesn't run back. The water recedes. What's that word, bro? I can't fucking think of words right now, but the water leaves the town, goes back to the water, unfloods the town, and then he's like, all right, cool. Now I have like a couple of years left of my life. I'm just gonna go back to my house. It's gonna be full of like salt and crystallized salt. Yeah, crystallized salt, maybe some mold, but I'm gonna live here. That would bring back a lot of nostalgia, bro.
But unfortunately, in January 2024, Pablo Novak passed away at the age of 93, leaving the town once again completely abandoned.
Rest in peace, bro. Damn. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, comment down below which one was the most disturbing one for you. For me, the most mysterious one is the UFO one, because that, well, the crater one, that one is definitely like some UFO or some shit, or some radiation, because it's making the trees grow fast. I don't know, bro, but yeah, thanks for watching.